tapped me on the shoulder and says, "Hey, Willie, you do pretty good in undercarriage. Come over here and work and do undercarriage workshops." And so began the penance, in undercarriage. And no, Kirk, I don't want to go back there. Todd's doing a great job. So, and then worked for a fellow by the name of Dave Wickness. And Dave asked me what I wanted to do when I grew up. And I said, well, get out in the field and be a rep. And so I kind of bypassed the whole marketing training program and went right into the field. And worked for Kurt Wagner at that time in NACD, and then went out to Hartford and came back and replaced that guy right over there, Mr. Knutson, as the product support rep in the Peoria district, working for Ed Diddle. You know Ed. Ed, I think, is now in the Carolinas now. I think he's retired down there. And then, so I learned a lot. In that time of my career, I learned a heck of a lot about dealers. I learned a lot about customers. I learned a lot about commitment. If you knew the early L Series days, Jim Johnson and I did some traveling around Pennsylvania and coal fields there, and Steve Brenneman and I did some traveling in Kentucky and Alabama. I was putting out undercarriage testing all over the place on large L Series tractors back then, because we did have some problems at that time, but we persevered, and today we own that market in large tractors. And then came Kevin Pollard, and Kevin, I still remember the phone call. I'm going up 74, and Kevin says, "Bob, I've got this great job for you. It's a brand new job. You don't want to go back into the usual, lock washer salesman job, or, have worldwide responsibility, tire pressure, or something like that." He says, "I got this job. It's called the supervising editor position. We haven't got a job description yet, but trust me, it's a good deal." And if you know Kevin, he says the two words, "Trust me," it's going to be a good deal. So Kevin and I started cross paths then, but I tell you what, it was a great job. And we took a group of, 7 people. We took it up to about 40 or 50, because that's what it took to do mining technical information, parts and service. I don't know if there's Marty Helmer back there. Marty and I worked together. And the tech side, Marty had the parts side. And we lived through the early days of sys authoring and sys delivery, and those were kind of fun days too. So then I worked for Ed and did a lot of recruiting, hiring, and training of initial marketing trainees, and I knew I had to be good to some of them, because you know what? I'm working for them now. So I learned real quick. Where's Donnie Martin? He knows this. He knows the expression. So at any rate, and then kind of came out of that job after spending a few years working for Ed and doing recruiting and hiring and working with Greg Lambrick and some others, and that was a great gig. That was a lot of fun. And yeah, after about the 6th time you've heard the talk on excavators and applications, you might doze off occasionally. So, then I worked in, kind of came back to my roots then, and probably worked in what was then Springer's organization under Reman. Steve Fisher had come in as our general manager about the same time. And we doubled sales in the time I was there up until about 2005. So was it me or Steve Fisher? You kind of be the judge, I guess. And then Roger Baker fished me out when we called it the divorce decree. The marketing side of Reman kind of came with State and PSD, and Steve started his organization in Reman, and Roger got the, as we said. So it's me and about 3 other guys that were positioned around the world doing Reman. So anyway, we've got quite a bit more to do here, and I know you want to eat some cake. I appreciate everybody coming out and seeing me and my family and celebrating 30 years. It's been a great ride, and looking forward to a few more. And hopefully they'll be a lot better than we had last year. So that wasn't real fun, but let's not do it again. So thanks, everyone.
It's a long, boring read. No, it really is. I mean, the first chapter wasn't too bad, but then it got to be kind of boring. And, Kevin went to University of Missouri in Rolla, and he had his transcripts in the folder. And like many people, he came as a freshman, and first semester, he was okay, 2.8 average, not bad, 2.8. He'd get you hired, barely, but get you hired. And then I think he found the beer, probably second semester. That 2.8 went to 2.3. And then there were the girls, I'm guessing, because we're talking one date here. So there were some major distractions going on by the third semester. But he figured, you know, he probably went home and mom and dad slapped him upside the head or something, I would suspect. And it started climbing from there. It went to the 2.5, and then 3, and then 3.7, and then finally 3.55. So by the end of the deal, I mean, he's a pretty sharp guy. Pretty sharp guy. And that's the way his career went, too. Well, I can only judge that by a statement I got. I did read some of those things, and it says, and I can't imagine actually writing this, but this was written for Kevin. It says, Kevin is a Southern Illinois farm boy, and it shows in his mannerisms and language. It reflects on his background. And it detracts from his otherwise excellent potential. So here's a poor little Southern Illinois farm boy, and they're picking him. I can't believe a guy wrote that, but what's really interesting about that is it showed up 3 times.
Same guy.
Same guy. Yeah. So whoever the guy wasn't very creative. I'm assuming he's gone by now, but if not,
It's Dave Roman. Those are the people.
there you go. So then when it really got boring, the rest of the thing got boring, because then it started talking about, you know, what a wonderful job Kevin's done over the years. And it just kind of repeats itself year after year after year, and it gets a little old to read, you know, but there were some things that really jumped out about it, you know, in a couple of terms when I think of Kevin. Energetic, enthusiasm, good judgment. I mean, if you ever sat in a room with Kevin, he comes in, you know, to do our one-on-ones, and I mean, he's got this list of paper, and he's kind of bouncing around, and it's about, you know, it's about an hour's worth of material. He does about 15 minutes, and it's done. It goes. And he's fast, and he's efficient, and very energetic. So I really got to know Kevin when we brought the contamination control groups together, and you may or may not know, but in 2006, I think it was, you took that over. Prior to that, a lot of good work had been done, but one thing that had not been done is the folks that worked on contamination control on the dealer side and people that worked on contamination control on the factory side were not on the same page. They weren't even in the same book, you know. Kevin really took what was a tough situation, brought that together into a very effective team. And, you know, we launched an SIP a couple of years ago. That SIP has been very, very effective, dropping the cost of a machine something like $1,500 just due to warranty claims against contamination control kind of issues. So fantastic job, pretty good from a Southern Illinois farm boy whose mannerisms detract from his potential. I guess the other thing that is noteworthy of Kevin, if all of you that know Kevin know his work with St. Jude's and how much he does with St. Jude's and for St. Jude's, and you've got a lot of credit, a lot of respect for anyone with that kind of commitment. So congratulations on that, as well as your 40 years. And so I'd like to give him a raise, but I'm not going to. I'll sing the song. I wrote it last night. What? And I may have mentioned I don't play very well. I don't sing very well either.